Hi guys, it's me, Keisha Henry from New Beginning Healing Institute. Welcome to session 2 recap from our spring women's group. And yes, we are women of abundance. You can see every time I have this shirt on, you should know what I'm coming to you about. I'm coming to you about, our women's group. Every time we have a women's group, I'm always going to wear this shirt because this is the idea. We want to come away with the idea that we are with this mentality, with this mindset that we are women of abundance. And so, yeah, I'm here to bring you up to date on our second week. Last night, our second group, which was amazing, honestly. And the women who come lets us know that, Stephanie and I had a great time as always. It's always amazing too to see the dynamic, or the dynamics between the two of us, and to see the dynamics in the room with the women, how they're able to relate to each other and able to see that they're not alone, in their own struggles, but that their struggles are shared struggles among the women that do come. So what did we cover last night? Well, a couple of things. Number one, we continue with the formation of the self. So in essence, our women's group, it's all about identity. It's about self-esteem, and it's about empowerment. So the identity piece, then, we continue with the formation of the self. We looked at more theories because everything that we do in our groups, everything we do in our work is evidence-based. It has to be because, we need to be able to predict certain outcomes in terms of the change that you seek and how you can get there. So everything we do is rooted in evidence. It's evidence-based work, period, right? So last night, we continue to lay more evidence, if you will, about the formation of the self. We looked at, a few theories, not to bore you too much, but we want to tell you what they are. We looked at object relations theory. We looked at object relationships. And we also looked at the configuration then of the psyche and why that's important to the self. So that's important. So that was we laid more foundation with these theoretical concepts to underpin, the formation of the self and to help give persons a more inner depth view of how your self was formed. And we also took a look at each parts of the personality, for example, talking about like the superego, talking about the ego, the importance of the ego, the different functions of the ego, which is the self, and also the id portion of the personality. So we did a deep dive into, those concepts. And, we had activities then, visual activities to further cement these theories and to make them, understandable and fit with what is going on with each person. Because although it's a group, we know that each person is a unique individual. And so laying these concepts and the foundation to the group and to what we're teaching is important for persons to be able to integrate and to be able to say, aha, this is what this means. In fact, we had a lot of ahas in the group. Some of the feedback was, oh, I read a lot of self-help books, but this information helps me to put that together now. Now I understand this, or now I understand that. And this is what we want for women to come and say, hey, you know what? I finally understand that. I can put this with that, and that makes sense about where I am in my life today. So much of that took place last night. What else? And so we're able to continue to lay foundation to the group. And so women had a better understanding of, their histories, their narratives, had a better understanding of not just the primary, narratives, which a lot of times happen to be negative, but they also were able to begin to have insight into the secondary storylines or tertiary storylines of their lives, which is not all negative, but has positives. And we look for the exception to help people to become better selves, right? We look for the exceptions in the storylines for women to have an option in terms of, or options, if you will, how to move forward, how to bring esteem back to the self, to the ego, so they can flourish. So that was a big deal. So sessions 1 and 2, more or less, is about laying foundation. I think we got that. We covered that. And so part of what we did also last night, we also did breakout groups, because that's important, right? Because we want to continue to build a safe space for every person that's there, including us as the facilitators. We want to feel safe too. We want to feel safe that we can continue to work, right? So we also had breakout sessions where women were able to break out, because that was part of the work. And that's part of all of our sessions, where we have, breakout sessions and we have a topic to discuss. And more times than not, the topic comes from the prior session where we had homework, and now there's an extension or expansion on the discussion. So that was really beautiful too. And then to come back and see how the information that they discussed was so organic to the education that was provided earlier. It was amazing to see how the homework that they didn't even discuss yet, how that really flowed, right, after into what we talked about prior. So it all came together. It was like a nice amalgamation of the night and the progress from one session to the next. So you can just see the continuation, which is so amazing to see that happen, really to see it unfold. And so we're looking now to go to the third session next week. So we're going to finish off, you know, theories, you know, underpinning the formation of the self. And last night, one of the biggest things that came up last night was the cultural aspect of the personality and what went into that, you know, and how the cultural perspective really makes the superego loud. So loud that person's true expression of the self on this side what really could not be executed by the ego, because what was going in here from when you were a young self, right, when you had no sophistication to filter anything, it really made the superego too loud. It was really, you know, really oppressive. You know, those negative talks, those negative schemas, and so which affects the esteem of the self. So that was pretty big last night. It was awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm so excited to do these videos. Hopefully anything that I share today, you know, is, I don't know, maybe invigorating, maybe intriguing, maybe brought about some curiosity for you. I'm hoping that. And, you know, with all of that said, I'm hoping that you will join one of our groups. You know, we're looking forward to that. Always be in a space where, you know, we can be of support to you. What else I want to share? That's it, guys. You can hear I'm a little bit nasal because I'm getting over a cold. Thank God I actually was able to do facilitate with Stephanie last night. Big shout out to Stephanie Semino for being my co-facilitator. We make a great duo, I feel, and that is a sentiment from others too. So, you know, really big shout out to Stephanie Semino. What else I want to tell you about? Oh, before I go, tomorrow night, podcast talking about grief. So, you know, so far I'm seeing on social media where people are saving the post. People are saving it. So I imagine that this topic on grief is pretty important to all of us, because it is very important to me. And I wasn't going to do that, but just, you know, just want to like maybe put that into this quick video to say, hey, you know what? I'm doing a new podcast tomorrow night. It's at 6 o'clock new time. So, you know, in the NBHI community and, you know, maybe other person you can share this podcast with. It's coming up tomorrow night, and the link is already out there. And as a matter of fact, I'll be sure to share that again today. So thank you for listening to this update from our women's group. We're excited to continue. We have 6 more weeks to go, and they're flying by really quickly, guys. Listen, happy Friday, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week, Lord willing, giving you a third update. Bye, guys. And guess what? I have my clicker now, so I don't have to do this. I can just do this.